Welcome back to Mix Rescue. My name is Daniel Jason Booth. If you haven't been following over the last few weeks, I've been mixing a track which was submitted by Patrick Pleau, which was one that I needed to rescue. Today we're going to look at an A-B comparison between the before and the after. And then after that, based on a question that I got in last week's episode where I showed client feedback, I'm actually going to reveal my secret weapon for client feedback. And we're going to talk to the guy that actually made it, Simon Moro. So stick around for that one.
That's a good thing, because that's what I want to do. I want to have everyone just focusing on doing their mixes and it to be a joy.
Mix Rescue is divided into 3 parts: mix preparation, mixing, and review. For Mix Rescue submissions, send your files and download links to daniel@splmixing.com with the email subject Mix Rescue. Welcome to part 3. All right, so first up, I want to say a massive thank you to Patrick for submitting the track. Also want to say, damn you for submitting the track, because it was quite difficult. Probably could have been a lot more difficult had I not set it out the way that I did in a linear fashion. Based on his feedback, he seems quite happy, so I think that's job done. So let's have a listen to the track before and after. So the client feedback system that I use and have been using for probably about a year and a half now is TrackBit, which was designed by Simon Moro, who's a producer and an engineer. He is really after the best product that he can get out there to all of us. Simon is a good friend of mine. He's put a lot of effort into this program. I think it's one of the best client feedback systems out there. I'll leave a link in the description. Let's jump over into what the TrackBit interface looks like from my perspective. So I went through another round of feedback with Patrick, and you can see that he's left timestamped comments. It's pretty easy just to go in and play these. Over to Simon now to explain some of the features that he's been working on. Maybe in a later video, we'll go and dive even deeper into the client feedback system of TrackBit. All right, over to you, Simon.
I'm going to start sharing my screen. So this is just the dev environment that's just running on my local machine. Almost all of these features are up on the live side. I guess I could take you through some stuff that's changed. So there's now a dashboard. So when you log in, you've got recent projects and recent notifications. The other thing that will have changed for you is that you can now have a branded custom client portal on your free plan. I'm actually rewriting the shareability of projects. There'll still be two ways to share them, but sort of going in favor of the client portal. So what's great about the shareable links is you can share them with anyone. It's quick and easy. What we lose with that is any sort of authentication. If we want to know that someone is a specific person, you just can't do it on the link. So I wanted to create a way to have a frictionless sign-in for clients while also giving us better authentication. So that's the idea behind the client portal, which is now available to all plans. The other thing I've just been working on today are keyboard shortcuts. So if on any screen you press S, it brings up keyboard shortcuts. We can log in, hit P, go to the project list, open a project, go demo, and then we've got access to other keyboard shortcuts. This makes sort of navigating around things a lot faster. I also have over here these project shortcuts, that things that you might want to do, sort of just always available there. A redesign of the project dash, so you can easily just copy a link to your portal or copy the sharing code for your clients and chuck it in an email. Hovering over the project contacts, we can see their email, and we can even send them an email directly from TrackBit just by clicking on it. And when we send that email, it actually says it's from your email address. You can carry on that conversation in your inbox. The idea is that rather than having to jump into Gmail or wherever you email and send them a message, you can do it straight away from here without leaving the screen and then continue the conversation in your inbox. So it just saves you jumping out of a tab, which I think is really helpful. The other thing that's kind of cool is if you go to new email, you can send a bulk email to everybody that's a contact on that project. If we manage our project contacts, I don't have any more contacts in this account. You can add your contacts, add them to a project. But this is the cool thing. Let's say you've just done a new mix. You can include the client portal magic link to them and the share code if you want, hit send, and then they'll get their email and they can just click on this link and it will automatically sign them in and authenticate them into the client portal. Here we can see all of the projects that have been shared with that contact because now we're signed in as them. So it makes it super frictionless and they can get in and they can access the project. So what this does, when you choose to include the magic link, it automatically generates a 24-hour sign-in link that goes to their email, a different one for each user. And when they click here, they can just click on the one link. The other thing is that at any stage, they can go to your client portal, they can type in their email address, and it will send them a fresh link to sign them in. They can still do that at any stage, but the beauty of sending them the email from here is that it automatically generates a link. So they don't have to click the link, write their email in, wait for the email to come and click a link. So it's sort of just, again, frictionless, but with good authentication. Again, carries on the conversation in your inbox. Other features that I've been working on, the concept of work in progress. This is the way that we can manage different versions of songs. So you would have seen just from using the older version, which just had tracks. So the old version is, tracks. So we've got this massive flat list of tracks. I was working on an album earlier in the year, a 12-track record, and I think we had 60 different tracks in here from pre-production demos to mixes, and it was sort of confusing. What this thing with works in progress is you can create a separate work in progress for each song and then just keep adding different versions to that song. Go here and upload, what are we calling it? Song 1, mix 2. So we can upload that song and it saves it to that work in progress. So if now we go into work in progress, we can see song 1 has 2 different versions of it. We can go into song 1 and, oh, by the way, new shortcuts, space bar, skip forward, skip back. So now we can space bar to start and stop, and we can arrow key to skip through the song. Then we can toggle to the other version. So that just makes it really clean, a lot easier than going through different tracks. And with this way of doing things, you can actually, in your project, you can turn off the tracks module. So when your client logs in, they don't see the flat list of tracks. They only see work in progress.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can reorder, which is recent one for them. You can also choose if it's hidden from the client. The other thing is that with the individual tracks, as you know, you can also exclude them when they're shared and hide them. And when you're in the client portal, it will only ever show them stuff that you've said is visible to them. Jumping back in here, some other updates to the comments. So that's just an easier way of showing the replies, which previously they were sort of on a discussion tab. So I just decided to thread them, which I think is nice.
Yeah.
Another thing that's really handy, let's go jump into Spotify for a sec. So if I go into this track and let's say I want to share it, I'm just going to grab the album link. I can go into TrackBit and I can say, hey, can we make the synth sound like this?
Nice.
Save the comment. And now we've got a link straight to that. That's Spotify, YouTube, whatever. And if you hover over it, you'll see the URL that it's going to. Other handy features for producers, I don't know about you, but I generally start my tracks about 1 minute into a session. One of the reasons for that is if we decide we want to add an intro, I don't have to shift all my playlists and automation. But of course, it means that when you are doing feedback, often
it matches your
timestamp. Yeah. So, and you can just click on it. It'll say, there's an offset of 1 minute. So, we also have pre-roll toggle, which will just give you 5 seconds pre-roll to where their timestamped comment is. That pre-roll's been there for a while. That's, I guess, the work in progress is one of the big features that I pushed recently. Another thing that I pushed recently is playlists. We can, I don't know, let's say EP, order 1. Again, you can show it or hide it. And then we can just add track. Let's go song 1, mix 2, song 2, mix 1, song 3, mix 1, add tracks. We can drag and drop the order, open the playlist, and actually play through the track in our different order. So this is great if you just want to listen through the songs without having to open up individual tracks and play them. It's also great if you want to play with different orders. You might want to try out 3 different versions of the EP or 3 different versions of the album. You can create a playlist, open the playlist, and then just sit back and have it on in the background, have it on in the car. I think that's pretty helpful, useful feature available to the client. But again, you can hide it from the client. If you don't want it to be visible to the client, you can just hide it and it'll just indicate that it's hidden from clients. And again, we could put a track on there that's hidden from a client. So let's say song 1, mix 2. If I jump over to tracks, song 1, mix 2, and exclude it when it's shared. So that'll hide that song from the client. If they open this playlist, that song won't be visible to them, but it can still be in your playlist. Okay. When sharing things in the portal, it will always honor the visibility that you've set. And it will err on the side of caution. It's like if you want that track visible, you've got to go and turn it on for them. If the playlist is visible, but the track's not, the track's hidden.
And so in terms of what are the differences between the free and the paid versions, is that archiving and the ability to stop the client from downloading the MP3 version that you've uploaded, and also
Yeah. So like I'm kind of in the process of redoing a lot of the different limitations. And look, to be honest, the main reason for the limitations is that I'm funding this project myself. I make records full time.
Yeah.
I do this after hours. I do this on the weekend. I can't afford to have tens of thousands of dollars of AWS bills every month. So that's sort of where the limitations are. But so what I've sort of been making a decision to do is kind of, rather than put a bunch of restrictions on the free plan, just make it limited to number of projects. Track permissions and notifications are still hidden, but things like the client portal, I'm bringing forward playlists. I've just been doing this over the last couple of weeks. Playlists, I think, are visible to free. They should be. Yeah. So I want to sort of essentially say, here are all the features. If you've got more than 2 projects, you can probably afford your $10 for the month. Add $10 to the project if it's useful. So that's sort of what I'm working toward, making sort of more features in the free plan and just limitations on the number of projects. Yeah, that's kind of some of the new stuff that I've been working on. And I've got a couple of other things that I'll be doing over the next few weeks, which will be in the way of delivering assets. You know, when you've finished your mixes, actually have a link to all of your stems, final mixes, etc. up there, and other such things, just improving the workflow of getting shared link or the client portal. Another thing that, not a feature to write home about, but something that I changed in the last week, is that the client portal remembers them. So if they close the browser and go back in, they don't have to sign in again. So just little sort of things like that is what I've been working on to make it less clunky. Yeah. And
so you've obviously listened to a lot of client feedback, and in my use of it, I've had a lot of clients say, you know, how much they love it.
I guess just as an example of things I want to do is I want to make this fast and easy for people to use, which is why I put these shortcuts in recently. It's why on work in progress, this particular feature that I'm about to show you came from a conversation with a user the other day. He said, when I'm uploading new versions of songs, I have to go into tracks, and then I have to add a new track, and then I have to select the work that it goes to. Talking with him, I came up with a feature where you can just add a new track from here, or from here, or when you've got the work open, you can do it from here, or you can even just press V and it will take you straight to upload a new track and auto select the work that it's going to. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm sort of working on at the moment to make things frictionless. I will show you one other feature actually that I think is really cool. If we go to batch track uploads, keyboard shortcut for that is B, this is where you can upload multiple tracks at the same time. So if I want to upload, let's say, my whole album, this is probably more useful for mastering engineers that are actually finishing a bunch of tracks at the same time. So I can add all 3 and I can say, I want to create a new work in progress and I want to remove mix 1 from the track name. If I now go bulk upload, it's going to save all 3 of those tracks. It's going to trim 5 characters from the end of the name and create 3 new work in progresses based on the file names minus mix one, or actually it'll be these 3 here, because at the moment this is ordering by alphabetical. I think that's a pretty cool feature, because again, it means you don't have to manually create the work in progress. When you're uploading a track, you can say create work in progress and it will automatically make it from the name, but the other one will actually trim from the file name as well. Oh, I don't know if you've seen recall sheets. Have I shown you those?
Oh, for analog gear?
Yeah.
Might be in the current version.
I use it for taking photos of my gear, but it could be for taking photo of handwritten notes. It could be for taking a photo of mic position if you're in the middle of a tracking session. It could be taking a photo of a score if you're handwriting out a chart. So that also might be something that comes in handy. What I intend to do is make some videos for clients, just really short, to say, this is how it works, 30 seconds, because they click here, comment 2 seconds. I've hit it at 2 seconds, but I'll click over here, just letting them know that if they're playing the track, and they've hit add comment and just kept rolling, they can change the position of the comment just by clicking.
Definitely a 30-second video would help.
You know, to save you time, that's a good thing, because that's what I want to do. I want to have everyone just focusing on doing their mixes and it to be a joy. The other thing is, for anyone that wants to check this out after watching your video, I'm happy to jump on Zoom and help you get set up and listen to your feedback. I'm a full-time record producer, so if there's something about this software that you're struggling with or that could improve your workflow, it's probably going to improve mine too. So I want to hear that, and I can just decide, let's build it. Let's build it out. Those little features that came out of the conversation last week with a user, the automatic logging in on the project email, including these links that came out of the conversation with a user. The easy way to add tracks to work in progress came out of a conversation with a user. Helps me too. I want to work with people to make this awesome.
All right. So go and check that out. And yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Just as an aside, I don't have any more tracks to mix at this point. I would dearly love it if you could send me something that was really basic, just for a change. Something that I can put up nice and quick, whether it be a guitar and voice or guitar and piano or something like that you're struggling with. Just to get a bit of variety in the mix rescue episodes that we've got up there already. A lot of them have been relatively complex in certain ways, and it'd be good to get a nice simple mix and show how that comes together. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Let us know if you enjoy this series by giving it a like, share the video, and subscribe to SPL Mixing, remembering to ring that notification bell so that you don't miss a future upload.